The period of adolescence is one of the most dynamic developmental periods in our lifetime. Rivaled only by infancy in terms of the rapid pace of development, adolescents must navigate a series of intense physical and mental changes. Understanding the experiences of adolescence and what to expect as youth move through this period can help parents, teachers, and service providers work effectively with youth. What can you expect from an adolescent? Join us as we talk with youth from across South Dakota. By late adolescence, puberty is completed and most females have reached their adult height and weight. Males, however, may continue to gain height, weight, and muscle mass. As the rate of physical growth declines, late adolescents can be at risk of developing weight problems if they maintain unhealthy eating patterns that may have started in middle adolescence. The average late adolescent consumes fast food 1 to 3 times per week and eats less than 1 serving of fruits and vegetables each day, both of which can have a major impact on their health. How would you describe your eating habits?
I don't ever eat breakfast, and because I usually just try to sleep before class, and then it depends on when I have classes. Like I usually have a class at 11 or 12, so instead of going down to the union and waiting in a line for 30 minutes and trying to find time to eat and then go to class, it's just easier to grab pizza rolls or something on hand and then go to class. And then I'd usually eat on campus for supper.
I meal prep 7 days in advance, and I know that sounds really healthy, but I actually throw in a bunch of chocolate and things that are not so healthy. So.
Another reason for weight gain is lack of exercise. The rate of physical activity may begin to decline during this age due to fewer formal physical education programs in high schools, and also the youth's entry into a more sedentary work or college student lifestyle. Developing healthy dietary and exercise habits is essential for late adolescents in order to maintain health and wellness into adulthood. How physically active are you?
The big thing when kids go to college, you're like, oh, the freshman 15 or something like that, and they oh, maybe that's just a myth or something, but I actually think people don't really realize how unhealthy lifestyles can get when you go into college. They're so stressful because you have all that studying, you have to stay up late, you have to get up early for class, and then obviously the unhealthy food options on campus. And if you're required to have a meal plan your first 2 years, then all you can eat is the union food, and some of that isn't very good for you at all. So I don't know, I think that's just something that people don't really realize, that it's not really a choice. Or that you get the freshman 15, it's really hard to maintain and stay healthy since you were when you were living at home.
I play lacrosse here, so I have the same forced practices and stuff, and I take a couple gym classes, so that's even added on. But I think it's easy to be physically active with intramurals and everything because I do that too.
Late adolescents continue to develop thinking and reasoning skills. They tend to focus even more on the future than they did in middle adolescence, and they also have the ability to delay gratification. They are willing to work hard today for results they won't see until tomorrow or later. Because of their advanced reasoning skills, they may continue to debate and argue, but the level of adult-adolescent conflict generally declines during late adolescence. Similarly, the amount of risk-taking often subsides given their ability to logically think through the consequences of their actions. What are your goals for the future?
I want to go to grad school after this and be a counselor. I kind of want to help people with addictions. That just interests me, especially since I have a lot of uncles that have been through treatments and stuff, so that stuff kind of interests me. And within a year, I want to study abroad this summer, so I'm kind of looking at that.
For me, I'm in the process of applying to the grad program here at SDSU for mental health and rehabilitation counseling. And I got interested in that because I have 4 brothers who are in the military, and 3 of them have served overseas. And it's not that they've come back with severe PTSD, but I've noticed how each time they go, it affects them. And so my dream job would be to work for the military and helping veterans or active duty soldiers getting back from wherever they come from overseas. So
it's like crazy to think of how many people like get through college these days. Like college, like I remember like, or like back when my parents like talked about like 2-year schools were fine, and like now it's almost like 4-year school like isn't enough. Like you have to go to grad school, like there's always more and more and more you can do. So like it's just getting, I mean, tougher and tougher. I can't imagine what my children will have to go through.
Emotionally, late adolescents have developed skills in regulating their own feelings and also interpreting the feelings of others. By this stage, they typically have a better sense of their own identity because they have had time to explore alternatives. Intimate romantic relationships are common among late adolescents and are more likely to involve sexual activity than the relationships of early and middle adolescents. These relationships become more committed and long-term than previous relationships due to the youth's advanced emotional and cognitive skills. How would you describe your relationship with friends or romantic partners?
My boyfriend and I have been dating for 3 years, and he's also a mechanical engineer, so I know how that time really, they're always like studying and worrying about a test and stuff, and sometimes it gets a little frustrating, but it's still nice that, you know, that they're passionate about it, and kind of makes me study more, I guess.
I know that for me and my boyfriend, we don't really do anything. Like, we don't really go on dates or anything like that because we just don't have enough time in the week. And with his season being opposite of mine, there's like no like really free time to do like coupley things.
A lot of times there will be people who want to spend all this time with you, whether it be family or other friends, and if you're working and have 15, 18 credits on top of that, you don't have much time for anything else. A lot of your time goes towards your schoolwork, and your remaining time goes towards work. And you may not have a lot of time for fun stuff.
Lived with my parents these past 4 years since I've been in college because they live close by, so I've just commuted and it saves money. And even though like I've lived with them all these years, I can tell that my relationship, especially with my mom, has grown stronger. I think it just might be transitioning from high school to college, and then in adulthood you start being more open and sharing more of your experiences because you realize that they actually really have good advice for you and they're supportive. And so my relationship with my parents is very important to me and it's very dear to me. And even though I do see them on a daily basis, I still have to make time to spend with them, either by like, let's get coffee, let's go out to dinner, you know? So I mean, you can see people every day, but for me, like I'm learning that it's all about maintaining those relationships and, you know, putting the phone away and having an actual conversation, so.
Adolescence is an exciting and dynamic stage of development. Understanding the physical, cognitive, social, and emotional changes commonly experienced among youth can assist parents, teachers, service providers, and teens themselves successfully navigate the period of adolescence. For more information about adolescent development and other related topics, go to igrow.org.